Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking Jesse Bam Rodriguez. He will be taking on Fumalela Cafu for the WBC and WBO Super Flyweight titles. This bout will be taking place July 19th at the Ford Center at the Star Frisco in Texas. Obviously Jesse Bam Rodriguez, native Texan. I think they've added some unneeded pressure onto this fight. Now, 2 weeks ago, Jesse Bam Rodriguez was unveiled by Ring to have an undisputed fight against Fernando Daniel Martinez in Riyadh this November. Could that not have waited 2 or 3 weeks for him to get through this fight? Because if he doesn't win, which there is a chance he doesn't win, won't be for undisputed, will it? So, let's talk about this fight first. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, 25 years old, number 7 pound for pound, undefeated in 21 fights with 14 knockouts. He's an absolute star, Jesse Bam Rodriguez. Now, Bam holds the WBC and Ring Super Flyweight belt and is planning on ripping that WBO belt straight off Cafu in order to make that undisputed Super Flyweight bout in November. Let's talk about some of Bam's biggest wins. Some of his biggest wins include handing Sonny Edwards his first ever career defeat in 2023. That was for the IBF and WBO World Flyweight titles. He beat Carlos Cuadras in February 2022 to win his first ever world title, as well as wins over former world champions in Wikasil Wangek and Juan Francisco Estrada. And most recently, he beat former interim champion Pedro Guevara by round 3 KO. That was in November of 2024. So that was the last time we saw Jesse Bam Rodriguez fight. But we're going to see him this weekend against Cafu. Now, I do have a quote here from Bam talking about Cafu. I don't know much about him, honestly, but he did go on the road to get that big win in Japan against Kosei Tanaka in October for the title. I know he's coming in motivated to do the same against me in Texas. I just know that there is a lot of risk for me. I have everything to lose. Cafu has nothing to lose and everything to gain. That motivates me to make sure that doesn't happen. I'm staying hungry with that mentality. And me, much like Bam Rodriguez, does not know much about Cafu. So I went back and I watched some clips of Cafu, looked at his statistics, his records, his everything. I don't remember his fight against Kosei Tanaka. That was on the undercard of a Junto fight last year. I did watch the Junto fight. I just honestly can't remember the Cafu fight. So I have gone back and I've watched it. Now, Cafu, he's South African, age 26, current WBO Super Flyweight champion. He won that after going to Japan in October 2024 and beating Kosei Tanaka. Now, when I went back to watch that fight, he drops Tanaka in the 5th round with a perfect right hook, right on the button. Tanaka's hands were down, it just clean through. But Tanaka, to his credit, got back up and fought all the way through to the decision. And Cafu, he actually survived a bit of an onslaught in round 12. Late in the piece, he was getting hit quite a lot and with some big shots, appeared to wobble a little bit, but he survives it and gets the win. I will say a few things that I noticed in that fight. One, he has a very wide stance. He seems to not be too technical. Throughout a lot of that fight, he was sending some wild punches. Just 100% all his power into big right hands and left hand, and most of them missed by a mile. Obviously, the one in round 5 did land, but lots of them throughout this fight just missed, and he was left very open. And when you're coming up against Bam Rodriguez, who is a technician and will pick you apart, I think that's very, very worrying signs. He does have a good engine. He was very active throughout the fight and was piecing together some good 4, 5, 6 punch combinations when they landed. But all in all, I think he was lucky to get the win because of that one shot in the 5th round. I think if he doesn't land that shot, he probably goes on to lose that. But hey, he landed the shot, he got the knockdown, and he went on to win that fight. So all credit to him. I didn't see anything in that fight, though, that I would think will worry Bam Rodriguez at all, to be honest. Look, I'm going off one fight here. I'm going off quite a few fights for Bam Rodriguez, and I'm expecting Bam Rodriguez to finish Cafu off probably midway through this fight. Look, Cafu's fought most of his career in South Africa. That one in Japan was his only fight that he's fought abroad. He was like IBF international champion in South Africa. And he might have been something else that was like regional to South Africa, but that fight in Japan was definitely the key moment in his career. He has a pro record of 11 wins, 8 knockouts, and 3 draws, so take that what you will, especially when he's only fighting domestically. My prediction for the fight, like I said, will be a Bam Rodriguez, probably round 6 or round 7 stoppage, I would think. Look, I could be very, very surprised by Cafu, but that is my prediction. Alright, also on the card, the co-main is undefeated in 23 fights and current number 2 ring and number 1 WBO super middleweight contender Diego Pacheco. He's taking on Trevor McCumbee. Trevor McCumbee, he's someone who's looking to bounce back after that round 9 TKO defeat to Caleb Plant in September of 2024. I'm backing Diego Pacheco all the way in this fight. I think he's a special fighter. Him and Billy and Hamza Shiraz are a new generation of extraordinary super middleweight fighters, I think. What order you put those in best to worst is really up to you. I probably go Billy, Pacheco, Hamza. Hamza's only new to this division. We can't really rate him any higher. I think Billy's the best one, but Diego Pacheco at 24 years old, exciting fighter, and he stops fighters, winning 18 out of 23 by stoppage. He's a great fighter. He too beat someone that Mbili beat just recently in Seleshi. So we're starting to see these guys really take over the division, beating similar opponents and putting their level up high. So I'm going to say Diego Pacheco to beat Trevor McCumbee. Trevor McCumbee's not an awful fighter. I think he might have only lost that one fight to Caleb Plant in his whole career. So it'll be a tough night for Pacheco, but I'm backing him to get it done. Austin Amo Williams, he was thrown a bit of a curveball this week. He was originally supposed to take on Etanoza Oliha. He pulled out with an eye injury during fight week. A quick scrambled by Matchroom, and an opponent was sourced. Amo will now be facing Texas-based middleweight Ivan Vasquez. This will be a 10-round contest. Vasquez with a pro record of 11 wins, 2 losses, 8 knockouts. Unfortunately for Amo Williams, though, this fight is now no longer for, like, originally the winner of Amo Williams versus Aliha would have become the mandatory contender for middleweight champion Yanibek Alam Kanali, but because Aliha is so highly ranked in IBF, he has asked them to postpone that title eliminator so he can be a part of it. So this fight now becomes more of a, let's see, Austin Amo Williams not only win well, but at least get through it to hopefully line up another chance. Austin Amo Williams, I mean, he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. This will be the biggest step in his career if he can get a chance against Alan Kanali. Obviously, he was supposed to beat Hamza Shiraz and get that, what was it, a WBO silver middleweight belt, which would have propelled him on a collision course with Carlos Adames. He loses that fight, misses out on a title shot. This is probably his redemption. Different champion to face, but I would think, I mean, it's up to you. I think Yanibek Alam Kanali is a better fighter than Carlos Adames, but if you were going off resumes, I'd say Carlos Adames is the better fighter. Maybe it's because Yanibek is, I don't know, he just hasn't seemed to fight any big names yet, has he? Last fight on the card is Omari Jones. He's the 22-year-old former USA Olympian. He's looking to go 3-0 professionally. He started his career professionally very well. 2 knockout wins of 2 fights. Those were both this year. March and April he won those fights. And he'll be facing veteran Argentine Alfredo Rodolfo Blanco. Look, this is a bit of a gimme fight. We know how these get run. We're going to see Omari Jones get relatively easy fights till he's 8-9 wins and ready to sort of really push for a world title. Obviously, Olympians do get a push forward. He didn't win any medals in the Olympics. I think he got eliminated in the semi-final. But 22-year-old American, very, very exciting fighter. All right, guys, that is the card. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you think is going to win? How are they going to win? And like, subscribe, and I'm out of you guys. See yous.